Okay, namaste, great souls. Here we are practicing together again. And so much gratitude for that. We are tuning in to the second chakra today, Swatisthana, which literally means sweetness. It's above the pubic bone, below the navel. It organizes around the hips, the pelvic floor, the low back. And when it's water, its flow, its fluidity is the dominant element. It's a yin chakra, opposite of the earth chakra, which is yang. And developmentally, psychologically, think of the 12 to 24 months, the oral stage, right? Babies, not only are they tasting, putting everything in their mouth, but it's more about a sense of wonder of the five senses. What's touching, sensing, feeling, what's out there, liquids, liquids in the body, a lot going on at that stage as well. But it's, that's a developmental stage, but of course it keeps going. And there's many kinds of yoga. For example, the hatha yoga would be considered more that earth energy, the physical practice, the asanas. Tantra yoga is a whole nother type of yoga that's about the wonder, the experience of our senses and being alive to it and being aware of it and experiencing the natural world as our teacher. So there's so much that could be said about this. I'm just giving a little brief taste of it. And one of the images I enjoyed of one of my teachers, she said, imagine literally a river as our second chakra, and the earth is the banks of the river for stability. But we want to be able to flow into the river of life, flow with life, whatever is appearing, and flush out the stagnation, flush out the stuck energy. So those two principles of rinsing and flowing is very much sweetness of the Swatisthana chakra, the water element, fluidity. Let's see. So the hips, the pelvis, we'll be doing a lot of hip openers. We'll work on some low back focus, and we'll get into more flow and fluidity. And we will also want to know, like with every chakra, there can be a deficiency in that chakra, inability to feel pleasure. That's a hallmark of depression. What used to bring people pleasure isn't doing that anymore, and we want to explore that. Unfortunately, in our culture, there's a lot of excessive second chakra energy, because the second chakra has a lot to do with sensuality, sexuality, the right use of that, the balance of that, the creativity of that versus the excessiveness that could happen with being objectified, sexual traumas. There's a lot of dark energy that can happen with this when it becomes excessive and not balanced. If that's anywhere in your history, absolutely get help, professional help, therapy, etc. But for our purposes, we're gonna tune in and hopefully enjoy our experience of the water element, the second chakra, and we'll start that right now. Okay, I'm gonna scoop back. And we're gonna sit comfortably, have your block or any props you like by your side. So, speaking of water, sitting, remember which ankle is in front. I have my left in front. Think of scooping your spine like a wave. So first we're going to round the spine and exhale. Tuck the chin, hollow out. And then we're going to scoop forward. Now it looks like I'm leading with my chest, but it's actually from the belly, the hips, the chest, and the head. We're going to do this several rounding. And then scooping. And use the power of the breath to flow. And that water element. I had a good question earlier. If we're not able to walk outside as much because of the weather, what feels good to get that movement, that flowing movement and that cardio action indoors? One more time. Inhale, scooping, and then exhale, rounding. Really draw the navel back toward the spine. Inhale, heart lifts. And this is a classic mudra. You've probably seen it with a lot of deities. The left palm is open. The right palm is literally on the second chakra, right above the pubic bone, below the navel. You can add mudra, thumb, index finger, because we want to see the higher self too. Where is all these senses coming from? Okay. As we inhale, belly, heart, crown expands. And then as we exhale, like you're blowing out a candle, soften where you can. Shoulders, jaw, eyes. Do the several rounds. Full yogic breathing. And notice your intention that you're bringing to the class today. What is it you would like to receive? You gently assess your second chakra energy. Creativity is a big part of the second chakra as well. Speak about throughout the class how we can activate this chakra in a pleasurable way. And then bring the left hand on top of the right. Maybe even visualize your favorite body of water. And now we have our island behind us, but notice what comes to your mind as you bring in your favorite body of water. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. I'll be trying to instill that in as we move through our class by drinking water as we flow. Fluidity. Okay. And then bringing the knees up if you can before we even stand. Okay. I'm going to bring the left arm in. If you could squat like this, maybe you need to sit on a block, no problem, or fold your bolster up. The left arm inside the knee, the right arm extends. Opening up, belly, heart, and this diagonal stretch. And then ease, hands come together, touch the heart. And that right arm, if possible, inside. As we're twisting and turning, we want to start to get some hip movement from the base, rippling throughout the spine. Several breaths here. And then slowly come back down. Hands touch the heart. Very good. And we come into our forward fold. Uttanasana. Feet hip width apart. Spread those toes wide. And resting the hands at the elbows. And we're just going to rock gently side to side. Have a slight bend of the knees. Another big element is releasing unnecessary control. So that flow is the opposite of control, right? So relaxing the sense of control, releasing any unnecessary mental burdens. We're opening into the flow of water, into the flow of embrace, into the flow of joy. Or whatever you want to invoke. Let's come up, bending the knees. If your spine's okay to ripple up, go ahead and ripple up. Otherwise, straight spine. And with the sense of flow, lifting the heels very gently up and down, and the arms from the shoulders, releasing. Okay, and then we're going to circle the arms. And bend the knees as we feel the shoulder rotation, the heart connection. Of course, all the chakras are connected to one another. And then rooting mountain pose, grounding. Now my blanket to the side. And invite you to drink plenty of water, not just in our class, but whenever you think of it. And coming into our mountain pose. So I'm coming to the front of the mat. Bringing the hands to the heart. And when you think of getting your creative juices flowing, is that music? Is it art? Is it dance? Gardening? What brings creativity to you? Just inquire into that creative flow. And we bring others onto the mat as well, as we bring our hands to the spiritual eye. May others open up to their higher consciousness and creative flow. Crown of the head, lengthen and grow. Lift up and arch back. Inhale back to center. And then sweeping arms. So we're going to make a focus of those sweeping circular arms as we bend down and take a moment in our forward fold. Inhale, scoop out. And let's step it back to downward facing dog. Full body stretch. Remember to plug into the thumb, index finger, especially. Widen through the shoulders. And then really turning on the root and the navel center here, and the second chakra and first chakra by the Mula Bandha, the breath of fire. Think of it like a kegel. You're drawing back and squeezing 10 times. So we got the fire and the heat and the fluidity. So let's bend the knees and ripple. We're rippling, we taste the plank, and then we bend the knees and that wave-like movement back. All right, if possible, draw the inner borders of the feet together and lift the right leg up. If not, stay with your downward facing dog. Opening the hip. As I mentioned, hip openers are big in all directions for second chakra. And we're going to bring the knee to the chest in that direction. Pause for a moment. And then step through. Might take a couple rounds, no problem. Right foot comes forward, the left foot back. You can have your blocks by your side. Now, when we come up into our Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, we'll do our physical, of course, tracking that knee over the second toe, tailbone down. But we're going to sweep our arms open as I attune my will, and then bring the elbows down to the source of all power. So we're just adding that opening of fluidity. Same movement with the legs. And affirming, I attune my will to the source of all power. But this time then, we interlock that heart opener, chest expansion, hip opener. Root down a little bit more if possible through the legs. Excellent. And now sweep the arms forward. Bring the hands down. Come into our deeper lunge. And just stay here for a couple breaths. Feel those hips opening more. And then step back into our plank without collapsing. And let's take the knee, chest, chin chaturanga. So knees touch down, still warming up. Chest, chin. And extend the legs. Let's bring our hands a bit wider out to the side. Lifting the heart and just hydrating our hips and shoulders. Rocking side to side. So dance, fluid movements, yoga, tai chi, all kinds of movement is wonderful to balance the second chakra and have a fun, fluid, creative movement. All right, we're going to bring the hands back in a little bit closer. Inhale, rise up into our cobra, slowly. These could be off the ground or on the ground, lion's breath. 2 or 3 times. Opening through the throat chakra. Okay, knees touch down. If they're not already, rounded cat. Turn the toes under. Walk the hands back a bit. And scoop out again. Inhale. Cat stretch, cat cow. Inhale. And then lift the knees off the ground, hover for a moment. And then pour back, tread it out. Keep magnetizing the heart toward the thighs. I want that fluid energy, that peace, calmness and peace to radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Can I be in that river and flow? All right, and let's go ahead, draw the inner borders of the feet together. Lift the left leg up if possible. And bending the left knee to the chest. And stepping forward. And starting with our lunge. And spinning that back foot 30 degrees. And let's sweep our arms back to come upright. And then go wide, rooting down. Then keep sweeping the arms up. And bring the elbows toward one another. So that circular motion. I attune my will to the source of all power. Strength, stability of the legs, fluidity, and our sweetness in the second chakra. I attune my will to the source of all power. Now this one, we're going to reach back and open the heart again. And then reach forward. Not holding the poses a little bit, but not a lot. As we bring our hands forward again. And we're going to step it back. Create that plank pose and then bring one forearm down, then the other. 3 breaths here. And knees touch down. Heart, unfurl the toes, heart opens up. Again, that sense of ease. Just kind of reflecting, when's the last time you spent time in water? Be it a hot tub or a pool, perhaps. And then take a moment, rest at the spiritual eye, large toes touch, to melt into the holding of the earth. Three full yogic breaths here. Okay, feet hip width apart, strong through the legs. Your version of Cobra Bhujangasana. Inhale, rising up to meet this day, to meet the opportunities of this day. Shoulders away from the ears. Open to the Joy Kosha. Knees touch down. Rounded cat, toes turn under. Drawing in. Scooping out, yang. And then that circular movement of the hips. So really getting into the hips. You could figure eight it, you could circle, just flow with it. As I mentioned, second chakra is yin, first is yang. Every other chakra is a yin and yang. I don't know if you ever put that together before. Head's moving around too. All right, let's take it back to our full body stretch, downward facing dog, hover, knees off the ground. Forward back. Root through the points of the feet and the hands. Stable ground, that bank. But the flow through all the liquids of the body. Blood, the lymph, the organs. So much going on, of fluidity in the body. See what feels good to you. It may not even look like you're moving outwardly, but you might feel that subtle movement inwardly. And again, stepping one foot forward, then the other. Walk the hands in. Bring that left hand into the center. And we're going to bend the left knee as the right arm comes up. Into our forward fold twist. So there's that rotation, that squeezing, soaking of the internal organs gently in this particular twist. As we come down. And bring the right hand into the center. Naturally, you're going to bend that right knee as the left arm extends. Head to tail connected, shoulders stacking. Fluid movement of the twist. So every breath, there's a subtle movement as we bring the left hand down. Let's come up either in that flow, fluidity, or the chair pose. Remember, if you're new to my class on listening in and you want to, if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, you want the spine straighter, come on up. Feel the strength of the legs rising up. And again, that circular movement. Opening. A couple times with the arms forward. And then the other direction. If you got something going on with one shoulder, you can always do one side and variation on the other. Make it work for you always. But we'll all meet back in our mountain prayer pose here. Yielding into the earth. I'm feeling the deep crystal life force energy rising up through the root and water, heart. Bringing prayers of care for others in our practice as we keep flowing along. I'm going to take another sip of water. Focusing on the water element, inwardly and outwardly. All right, let's make sure you have your block for this one. Our prop, I'm going to grab mine. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to approach from our mountain pose again, of course, tapping into the heart, spiritual eye crown, lengthening up. And then arms sweep back in that really expansive movement, hinging at the hips.
Oh yeah, I forgot having your blanket too for your knees. I like it. It's up to you. And what we're going to do here is we're going to step our right foot back and have that right knee on the blanket. I'm going to have the block by my outer right ankle and draw the tailbone down. So we're in our half camel Ustrasana. Sweeping that right arm up. You can know that the block's back there, or your calf or your thigh, okay? And then the left arm comes up, and then the hips come forward. I'm going to add the mudra. With calm faith, I open to the light. With calm faith, I open to the light. It's affirmation for camel pose. And part of releasing control is opening, like we talked last week with trust, and now opening with self-nourishment. How are we nourishing ourselves? Inhale, coming up. And now from here, we're going to take our block. I'm going to bring it forward. And we're going to we're going to transition into a balanced pose. So standing split. So what that looks like, we come off the knee, we step the right foot in, we step it in. And at this point, you can use a block or two blocks and just start lifting that right leg up. You can even rotate that ankle. That will give the fluidity to it. Point and flex. There is a concentration and focus in any of the balance poses, but can we do that with some flow, without rigidity? Yes, we can. All right. All right. Standing split. Hanumanasana. Giant step back. Want to open up these hips in so many different ways. We come forward. Before we do the flow way, this is the strength way of opening the hips. So what you're going to do is bring that left arm inside and see if you can, when the reach, come off that back knee. This is a different way than I usually cue it on purpose for the strength of the hip opening, and then we'll get the fluidity here. Maybe one forearm down, then the other. You can use a block or blankets to lift the floor closer and go forward and back. Very deep hip opener, strengthening hip opener, hamstring. We want to rotate and open our hips in lots of different ways. Okay, and then we can rest on top of that knee, back knee, and get into the fluidity of the dental floss for the hips. So I'm going to walk my left foot out and open up and look toward that left knee, and then come back forward, side to side. So we did that forward and back. Now we're going side to side.
with our hip openers. Ooh, very good. All right. And from here, we'll go ahead, turn that back toe under and step it back to our plank. Your choice of either forearm plank or knee, chest, chin, chaturanga, classic chaturanga. Exhale. All the way down. I'm going to move this blanket out to the side for now. Because what we're going to do here is our half bow. So left forearm in front, right knee bends. You can use a strap to grab that back foot. And what we're going to do is we're going to kick it back and lift off. Might be hard to lift off, but you're still getting that deep. Well, lots of things are going on here. If you can, I know this is could be tricky to get more of a quad stretch. You're bringing the hands on top of the toes here. That may be too much. Okay, that might be not in your practice today. But again, we're recharging the spine. We're opening in our half bow. And then we're releasing. And we're taking a rest, stacking one hand on top of the other. You can open into an affirmation that change is safe for me to do so. We're literally in our second chakra, we're being able to pivot. We're required to pivot so much in life. Change is safe for me. It is safe for me to change. Okay. We want that same benefit on the other side. So we're going to locust first to reach the arms back. And then out to the side. And then hands underneath the shoulders, rise up. Couple breaths here. And then it's opposite. We fold the toes under, we walk the hands back, we add a cat cow. Round. Neutral. And hover. Hear the sound, the oceanic sound of your breath. Press into the thumb, index finger, especially widen through the shoulders, lift and spread the toes wide. Add the breath of fire if you like, navel to the spine with that Kegel squeeze 10 times. Slow it down, low. Invite. What quality you want to invite? I'm talking creativity, art, music, dance, flowing water elements, being in the water, water play. It's a big one. And stepping one foot forward, then the other. And let's walk the hands back. And bring the palms, if possible, underneath the soles of the feet. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Relaxing unnecessary control brain. Let it go. We're controlling, we're not really able to be with the natural beauty of life, the natural wonder. We're not as open to it. Releasing any way you like to come up, chair pose or rounded spine. And sweeping up. Let's pulse in our chair a bit. And come into our mountain And maybe even Eagle Heart Mudra I'm gonna go into. Via the benefit of that dynamic flow. Open through the crown. Open to how your body's feeling, sensations in the body. Sense of taste inside the mouth. And as you look around, just pick one or two objects. Looking at the plant. Contemplating for a moment, the life force there, the leaves unfurling. Growth. Okay, let's flow to our other side. Have your prop, your block, and your blanket. Coming to the front. Bring that over here. Not prepared. As you open to the dawning of higher awareness in our upper chakras for all beings, as we stay connected to the earth and the water elements. Flow. It all works together. Inhale, scoop out. Exhale, step the left foot back into our lunge just to set it up so that we can place that left knee down. Bring our right hand on the knee. Any modifications you like. If the half camel doesn't work for you, I'm bringing the block back by the outer heel or calf. And tailbone down. We're going to sweep that arm up. A lot of arm sweeps today. Block is there, or the calf. Right arm maybe lifts up. With calm faith, I open to the light. If you have a particular deity with calm faith, I open to thy light. The light within and all around. One more breath here. Beautiful. As we come forward now, it's an interesting transition as we take our time to bring our block forward if you'd like to use it. Into Hanumanasana, or standing split. So that's a come off of the knee, and then we step, step, step. Hands come forward as we lift off. Now, on pointing and flexing or rotating the ankle, you can keep it stable. It's up to you. I didn't cue this on the last. If you wanted to go for the balance, you would bring the right hand behind you, walk that left hand in. Maybe balance, maybe use a block. Either way, you're still on balance. Trying to have meet those obstacles if they come up today with fluidity, with flow. And then both hands touch. And then we reach back strongly. Okay. The knee is off the ground still, and we're going to see if we could walk this right foot out to the side, bring one forearm down, another. It may not happen. You can have the hands like they were and go forward and back. Forward and back. Keep strengthening hip opener. Core strength. And when you're ready, that left knee touches down, and then we get the sideways hip opener. So I'm walking my right foot out to the side, and then I'm twisting toward that right knee quite a bit. You decide how far you want to go. Back and forth. Hydrating the hips. And using the power of the breath to open even deeper. Okay, the 12 months to 24 months, the curiosity about everything, the wonder of it all, the tactile, the taste, the touch. Oh, it's incredible. You can open to it in that way at this whatever time in your life, this age in your life, but also it's incredible if you happen to have a 2-year-old around and 1 to 2 and see that amazement and awe. All right, so from here, we are then going to take it and walk that foot in. We did our split, we did our deep lunge. We're going to come off that knee and let's go ahead and give it some oomph here and step that back foot forward. It can take several rounds into our forward fold, hinging side to side. And let's massage the scalp, releasing any of the unnecessary controlling, any of the necessary fears and doubts. Opening up the self-nourishment. And I'm going to round it up this time. You take it any stage you want, any way you want. There are so many ways. Let's sweep the arms open to self-nourish. We're doing that in our practice every time. Of course, there's sense and mudras and mantra and food. Food could be a wonderful, creative way of healthy self-nourishment there. Just breathe that in, nourishment. Giving ourselves every time we practice and anytime we do nourishing practices. All right, let's nourish ourselves with some water. Do a side stretch flow here, that knee triangle, and maybe regular triangle. We'll see. Have your block, whatever you need by your side. So I'm going to take it pretty wide and have the block just in case I need it. The right toes are facing out to the side. And we're expanding through the heart, getting the flow and the stability in the ground. Now we're going to start with our bent knee triangle. So track that right knee over the second toe. And then bring your right forearm lightly down, don't collapse. Feel what happens here when the left arm reaches up. And then see if you want to take it into that full diagonal. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Keep lifting the heart open toward the sky. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. See if those hips can come down a little bit more. Open the toes for 3, 2, 1. Sweep this arm down. We're coming into straight leg triangle, Trikonasana. You can have the block by the little toe side of the foot or the large toe side of the foot. I'm going to step my back foot in a little bit, straighten that leg, still get that side stretch. And then opening. When we think of self-nourishing, we could think of the joy kosha. What brings you joy? what brings you energy and joy? And maybe this will inspire you. Maybe you want to take a class or something like that to invoke whatever brings you energy and joy, or maybe join other people that are doing something that you haven't. Maybe try something even new. Okay. And when you're ready, as we go the other side, we're going to bend this right knee and we're going to keep a wide angle forward fold. Walk this block around. I'm going to place it over here. So when I say a wide angle, I'm walking my hands way out. Inner arms by the ears. You can even challenge yourself. I'm going to heel toe my feet even wider. Almost like a extended side angle split here. But keep pressing through the inner borders of the feet, energizing the legs. Feel the space between each vertebra. Deep belly breathing. Should feel pretty great. And then walk the hands back. Walk, wrists underneath the shoulders. I went wider, so I'm going to heel toe it in. And then walk. Slight bend of the knees. Starting from the upright. It's a little bit easier than on the ground. And then, of course, the left foot comes out to the side. And we get our shoulders, hips lined up. And then we open the arms and we bend this left knee, track it over the second toe. For our bent knee triangle, lightly letting that forearm touch the thigh. This is fantastic for your bent knee triangle. If you'd like to take it into that deeper hip, releasing the hips down, maybe using the block or your hand and going to the full diagonal, it's up to you. Either way, you're feeling that extension and especially the energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. If you wanted to keep, circling, we will with that straight leg triangle, but you could, of course, in this bent knee, do that as well. You could even bring it underneath, but let's just step the back foot in. Come up, slight bend of the knee here. We could just straighten right into our regular Trikonasana, but we want to get this flow, the fluidity, the dance of life. And certain strength and ease. I'm going to add the mudra. I'm going to add the block. Now here's that circular movement of the scapula. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Joy is alive within me, and I'm looking for it also all around me. It's 5 senses. And then we come up. So we bend our knee again. I'm going to sweep this arm up. Woo, star pose. Reach behind you in our lock. And we come into our forward fold again. This time though, the knuckles reach to the sky, ground toward the earth. Several pulsations like this. And then take your hands outside of the hips, outside legs, elongate the spine, wrists underneath the shoulders. Step it into our downward facing dog.
Thread it out. And we'll prepare for our pigeon. Ekapada Rajakapatanasana. Right leg lifts up if possible. Right knee toward the chest. And bring the right knee between the hands. Slide on top of that left knee. And just like we did earlier with our shimmy shakes in the shoulders. So you'll feel it in the shoulder, but you also feel it in the hips. It looks like it originates from the shoulders, but starts from the low belly to hips, and then the movement radiates out. Okay, relaxing into this moment, into the eternal now, as we melt forward. We're going to stack one hand, then the other. Rest at the spiritual eye. Notice what comes up when you inquire into how to cultivate creative practices. To be writing. And then when you're ready, okay, we're going to rise up. Should we shake again? You could always use your blanket underneath your cheek. I forgot to say that. Have it by your side. For the other side, we'll go ahead and turn the toes under. We just keep flowing from one pose to the next. Vinyasa. Left leg lifts up. Left knee bends. You could always do Jani Shirshasana. Pigeon isn't, if this isn't in your practice. Sliding back, just to really quick, Jani Shirshasana is this one. Otherwise, staying with pigeon. So as the heart opens, I'm going to unfurl my toes. You can keep the toes under or not. And then come forward. So one of the aspects that's I haven't really talked about in this class that's key to second chakra as you melt into this moment, soften the shoulders, release the hips, is this building intimacy with others, meaning being vulnerable with others, speaking your truth. Of course, not with everybody. We want to use our wisdom perspective, but those people you feel a certain amount of trust with, can you speak your truth? Can you actively listen with your loved ones, with the people you care about? Can we be vulnerable with them? So just reflect on this practice of being vulnerable with others, loved ones, speaking your truth, and of course, being there for them as well, and active listening. All right, slowly coming up. And should we shake it a bit? We're going to stay on the ground. We're going to come onto that left cheek and sweep the right leg around. You could place the foot in front of the shin or on the outside of the thigh. Deep, deep, deeper twist, drawing the left corner of the abdomen toward the right, hugging the knee or bringing that elbow to the outside. Big exhale as you twist. We ease back on the inhale. So even though we're here fairly stable in the pose, there's movement. There's movement with
every twist, and then the release back. So trusting to share with others deeper parts of yourself and listening to their vulnerabilities as well. It's a two-way energy of relationship. And then coming back, adding that V before we go to the other side. So the right knee on bottom, left knee on top, adjust, squeeze and soak. Right corner of the abdomen toward the left. Use your hand like a kickstand behind you. Hug that knee in. Most important is a twisting action. All these fluid systems in our body. The water element. Cleansing, we're soaking, we're moving them in all kinds of directions. Your organs most likely are smiling and your fluid systems are smiling, even though we may not be able to get outside and walk or hike. You can still move around quite a bit. Okay, we're going to ease down. So another water break time, but I'll get that later. We're going to take our time and draw down to the low back, mid back, upper back. We're strengthening and releasing of the back. Before we fold the knees in, let's arc and draw the sacral region in. So we're scooping and arcing, and then we're flattening. Do this about 3 times. Tailbone draws into the earth, low back's off the ground, and then we feel the hip bones drawing in toward the center. The inner thighs drawing in. You can contain that energy. Protect the low back. And then to help strengthen it, we'll do our bridge pose. So first let's fold the knees in and just make sure we've released our back and knees circle around. All right. And then from here, we plug in the feet. You could also have the block in the thighs to contain those thighs drawing in. I'm liking having my palms face one another for the chest expansion. You see what feels good to you, arms down or palms up. Inhale, start the lift off. Take your time as we come into bridge. Every thought can return us back to divine grace. Truth of who we are, already whole, already free, already aware. That's our highest truth. That's our highest realization. And then this human form is remembering to return to that highest truth again and again. We go away, we come back. Every thought can bring us back to our highest truth. Our divine nature. When it's time to ripple down, let yourself melt from the upper to the mid to the low back. Hug those knees in and squeeze. Rock side to side. And let's do one more bridge flow with our arms, if this works for you. Otherwise, keep your hands where they were, down by your side. So be a certain amount of shoulder rotation that could happen here. So we lift off. Low, mid, upper, rock those shoulders under. And then perhaps we did a lot of flowing arm movement. We're going to do it in this pose as well. Couple breaths here. And then slowly bring the arms back overhead.
I need to bend my elbows and then sweeping as the arms come down, so does the back. So the upper, mid, low back touches. Once the low back touches, bring the soles of the feet together, the knees apart. This is too much on your low back, contain it. Bring your inner knees together, okay? One hand on the belly, the other hand on the heart. A little bit like that mudra we did, but the hands on the heart, not uplifted. And full yogic breathing. Belly, heart, crown on the inhale. Crown, heart, belly, feet on the exhale. Sense and feel, maybe there's an area you feel stuck. How can you bring some flow, some water element into that stuck place? And listen, you ask and then you listen for the higher guidance. And then from this place of relaxed awareness, go ahead and sense and feel what would be best for Shavasana, corpse pose, dying to this, only this form, or much more connected to bigger divine energy included in this form. So just slowly draw your knees in. If you want, you may be in the pose you want, but you may want to get eye bags, socks, a drink of water, or your favorite drink. It doesn't have to be, something nourishing, okay, tea, etc. And getting ready to even go deeper into restoration. Get a lot of flow. We're going to restore our emotional selves, sweetness of Swadhisthana. As you're getting set up, I'm going to get set up too. Okay. All right. So if you're in your restorative, or even if you're getting there, we're going to take several deep exhalations. And again, we'll visualize some warm, healing water. It could be a hot tub, it could be in your own bath, a certain retreat place. And you're going to start from the feet. Feel that warm, healing water moving through the soles of the feet and the toes, left and right, heels and the ankles and the calves. A sense of melting and releasing. Feel the warm, healing water permeating through the knees, the front, back, sides of the knees, and the thighs, left and right. A lot of hip work today, root chakra, first and second. Just allowing yourself to melt and any tightness in the hips. Just even a little bit more ease there.
And as you deeply breathe into the belly, we're flushing out also emotional stagnation, stuck energy. Big part of the second chakra is the rinsing and flushing of any stagnant energy, stuckness. Let it flow. And feeling the warm, healing water. Snow, it's affecting all the internal organs. I won't name them all, there's too many, but the lungs, the heart, liver, digestive organs. Just feel the shoulders easing away from the ears. And that warm healing water permeating down through the arms, upper, lower, elbows, wrists, and let the palms and the fingers and thumbs just rest in any formation they like. And tuning into that oceanic sound in the throat chakra. Releasing the jaw. Of course, the head's outside of the water. The neck is ease and restful, but we're feeling the jaw and the eyes, the forehead soften. Open to the crown. Open to the 1,000-petal lotus of wisdom guidance. Again, if there's an area that you feel is stuck, what would your guidance, your wisdom guidance tell you about that now? How to open to it. Opening to the wonder of the natural world. Wonder of our senses. In that right alignment, not excess, not deficient. Creativity. And if it speaks to you, to bring that image of one of your favorite places of water in the natural world. Again and again, returning to what's already whole, already free, already aware, sometimes called formless awareness, pure awareness. And just notice if you'd like to stay in restoration, or if you'd like to return to movement. That change is safe. Transitioning, you do so gradually, resting on your side. And if you are transitioning or not, we still send healing prayers of care to others by visualizing them at the spiritual eye. And the 3-syllable Om sound. I'm going to rub my hands together and you see what works for you. Bringing the hands together in Namaste, acknowledging that divine awareness within you and within everyone and everything as we bow to the wisdom of our heart, letting it lead the way. And you're welcome to